after Margaret died.
Uncle Clarence and Margaret had split up. Until he got sick, Margaret and him hadn't seen each other for about a year. And over she went back when he got sick.
Yeah.
Went to the hospital all the time.
Yeah,
She
'cause we
called
were down
me,
there.
and he had left the house to me. He had made it all out, had it notarized and everything. And I said, we got to do something about this, because she was taking care of him, going to the hospital every day. But then, so we hired, I took Margaret down, we hired a couple of attorneys, and then they were going to research all this stuff. But at no time was anybody else in that family ever into that house. Not, not even close. They were
See,
one
that's
of the,
what I mean. Danny comes up with some stories
well, he
sometimes.
probably told it too. But anyway, so then I had gone down there for a few days, and then he had died later, afterwards, in the hospital. Well, then they didn't know what to do with his body. So I told them, bring him to Sacramento. So they put him in brought him down in a hearse. And that cost about, nowadays I wouldn't even think of it.
Yeah.
You couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
But they brought him down, and I made arrangements, went out and I bought him the lot out at St. Mary's, because that's where a lot of the family was. And we had it over though at people that owned in North Sacramento. It was a black mortuary, but everybody went there. But I mean, black people owned it, and it was really a nice place. And so that night, or that day before the funeral, Margaret gets me aside and says, Junior, I got a problem. And I said, what's that? And she says, I've got Manuel's ashes.
Yeah,
What
I
do
remember that.
What do I do with them?
I remember that.
So anyway, I says, I don't know. But she says, come and get them. So I went out and got them, and I forget who she was riding with, but I got Manuel's ashes and put them in my car. And so,
Well, see, Uncle Clarence was supposed to take Uncle Manuel's ashes and send him back home to Portugal.
yeah.
That was Uncle Manuel's
weren't-
request.
Why would they send them to Portugal? They weren't born in Portugal.
Uncle Manuel was. Uncle Manuel was.
He was born in the Azores, same place
Well,
my
yeah.
father was.
Well, that's where
Yeah.
he wanted him sent back there.
Yeah,
That's where he was supposed to send him, because Aunt Betty, Uncle Clarence told Aunt Betty, give him to me and I'll make sure he gets home to where he wants to be. But Uncle Clarence never sent him.
Well, he had him right in the front yard in a little flower. Anyway, so I go back in, and the guy, the mortician guy, was getting set up, and I said, I got a problem. Maybe you could tell me what I should do. And so I explained to him that we had his Clarence's brother's ashes, and we didn't know what to do with them. Where are they? He said. I said, they're out in my car right now. Go out the back door and get them. So I went out the back door of this funeral parlor, got the ashes, came back in. He goes up. I'd never seen how these things work. He starts cranking. Uncle Clarence was laying down. Pretty soon he's coming up. He's sitting up in the thing. He takes the ashes, puts them in on the thing, and then his name's not on the deal, but I'll tell you, Manuel is in the grave with Uncle Clarence.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, he's
Yeah. I remember that. So I remember DJ flipping out over there at Uncle Clarence's funeral.
But then the other sister, the one in Oxnard, she's the one that got mad because I didn't hire enough big funeral things so that her husband and kids could ride in the thing.
Yeah.
And I rented one for the family, the brothers and sisters,
Yeah.
and Margaret. That was it. And she went ballistic. Well, I ain't riding with them. So they rode in their own car out to the.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember she did.
It shouldn't have surprised me because the Duartes were always arguing about something.
Yeah. I mean, we couldn't
I
have.
remember we did come to that funeral. We came to Clarence's funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, people had their little issues, but it's really sad. It's not about issues. It's about showing love and kindness and
Yeah.
respect.
think your dad's the only funeral I came to out here that was like basically peaceful. That they weren't majorly
Yeah.
big,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, big to dos,
Yeah.
and everybody
Yeah.
fighting and bickering over what this and that. It just. But when we all walked into that church, boy, you could have heard a pin drop. It was.
How'd you like listening to Take Me Out to the Ball Game as they were wheeling the casket out?
Yeah.
That minister looks at my sister-in-law and Phyllis and I and says, "That's sacrilegious." I said, "If you played a religious hymn, if from my father,
He
that's
probably. Yeah.
sacrilegious."
Yeah. That would have been. Would have been.
Need to come out of there, I told you.
He
No,
would've
that
said,
was
"You're
all
out."
And they got mad because they had this scrapbook. And when Pop had his 75th birthday, a group from the rec department, the guy just lived down on that 14th Avenue, the main, on a corner, one of his supervisors. And so he had a surprise party there for Pop's 75th birthday.
Wow.
And he told him, "I want you to come down and help me. I got to decide something about my house or the." Pop didn't know anything about houses. He could fix rails at the rail yards, but anyway, so Pop went. So he goes down there, and then we're all there. And one guy from the rec department, and I got the picture. They're bickering back and forth, and they all of a sudden, Pop is flipping the guy the bird. So they wrote on this picture and put it in the scrapbook that was in the foyer of the church. And then he wrote underneath it, "You're right, Joe, I am number one." The guy is saying, and boy, that priest, he went ballistic.
Oh, wow.
I think he was glad the Duarte family was out of there.
I know, Catholic priests and the Duartes kind of have
Yeah.
issues.
Oh, yeah.
When we baptized Eva at St. Joseph's in Bakersfield, the Monsignor that baptized her turned around when he got done and he says to Johnny, "Who's gonna pay for this?" And the Godfather and Johnny wanted to take him in the back, show him who's gonna pay. That was awful. I mean, gee.
It isn't just the Catholic priest. When Phyllis and I got married up in North Dakota, where she's from, I had never met any of her family before. And my mother flew into Denver, and I drove her up there. And so we go down to the church in the little, from where we were staying, about 7 miles, little town of Max. And they got a brand new Lutheran minister. She's Lutheran. And so anyway, we go through the rehearsal bit. And then the guy, I'd already been married 3 times, and this guy says, "We're going to," and of course we didn't tell him that, but
Yeah.
he says, "I want you to come in my office, and I want to talk to you about the pitfalls of marriage." So we said, okay. Phyllis had never been married. But so we go in there, shuts the door, and the first thing he does is start chewing Phyllis out for coming home to get married. And we're paying for it. It isn't like, she said, he told her, "You're putting pressure on all the women in this place and all that." And pretty soon Phyllis is crying. And I got mad and lost it. And I don't get mad often.
Oh.
I reached across his desk, grabbed him right by the collar, and pulled him right across the desk and down on the floor. And I got him down on the floor, and I got my knee right by his Adam's apple. And I told him, "I'm going to kill you, you SOB." And he starts screaming just like a woman. He did. He was screaming like a woman. And here comes all my brother-in-laws and sister-in-laws come in the thing, and I got him down on the floor. Not the happiest. And then I really got even. They told me that after the wedding that we went down the basement, and that was the food preparation, and that was what the ladies were doing, and we were paying them for it.
Yeah.
Okay? So they said the groom has to place everybody at these, and they were all these long tables, with sawhorses or whatever up in that country, everything. And so you have to place the people where you want them. this is where you and Phyllis sit, and then your bridesmaid and the best man, and then the others. But you got these other like three on each side and chairs on each end. So I said, well, who should I put there? And they said, well, probably the other bridesmaids and the minister and his wife. I said, okay. So when I sent him out, the minister was 40 feet down here and his wife was 40 feet down here. He wasn't too happy with me.
Oh, wow. What a character. What a big
I have got to go and you guys got to get ready to get out of here.
Angel, give me the key to the room. When, yeah. It better be the right one, because he's a very bold little boy. He'll go up. He went and got a room key earlier.
Oh, yeah?
I think that one's mine.
No, it's not.
I put mine on
So they
here.
gave him one, and then they made mine not work. Ding!
They did?
So he walked up to Michael yesterday and said, "Are you my relative?"
I don't know which one.
I know. He's just an amazing little guy.
I am.
Very smart little guy.
Grandma.
I can tell one thing, he hasn't got the Duarte hair.
Yeah.
I'll unlock it for you.
No, you won't. Go sit down.
Yeah, he did.
His mother was a red-headed girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his mom was a redhead. She was beautiful.
And you said cancer, and my mom had cancer.
Yeah, his mom passed away about almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
2 years ago
How old
now.
was she?
What was your mom in her early
27.
27? Yeah. So she was real pretty. She was a redhead. He's the only one out of all of my nephews and out of all the kids that's blondie. Everybody else has the Duarte hair, dark.
Yeah.
He's our only blondie. Makes him the special one. That's why we call him the angel.
No, my mom named me that name.
I know. Don't start, Angel. Yeah. Let me see that picture, the orange ones. Cause my brother's Andrew. My brother Ruben, his dad has that Duarte jaw, big time. The major Duarte jawline. He's got it, and so do the younger two. You can see it in them, real distinctive.
Do I kind of have the 20 jaw?
Let me see.
See, that's my son Fred. He's the 27-year-old.
He's the youngest.
No, he's not. Go sit on the bed.
Now, where does he live?
In Hanford, too.
Oh, yeah?
No?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he does.
He went down, walking down the road one day and saw a sign at the bakery 3 years ago, help wanted. He started working at the bakery.
Good for him.
He needs to find that Portuguese bread recipe, though. The sweet bread.
Yeah.
I had the best recipe in California, and I lost it. Here's Eva's grandbaby. That's her grandbaby. She's a little girl. Come here. She lives in Alabama.
Really?
Yeah.
That's where Pam's sister
Oh.
lives in Alabama.
Yeah.
I think. Alabama or Georgia, I'm just not sure. Debbie.
That's Virginia, and then that's my youngest son Andrew back there.
Oh, I just love tattoos
Yeah.
on guys.
She got carried away. That was like, she just got that tattoo, and I'm like, oh, Virginia. She's crazy. Herman even, and then everybody in the family, the kids all said, I gotta get a new tattoo. I gotta get a new tattoo.
No, I didn't.
They're all
You're not one of the big kids. You're one of the little ones.
too crazy.
All they have to do when they go look for a job is to wear a long sleeve shirt or blouse. Because no matter what, there are people out there that wouldn't hire somebody just because of that.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
true.
this is how we go. This is my sister's son, Adam. That's Adam. That's my 14-year-old daughter, Valerie. There's my granddaughter. There's my son, little Frankie. He's 12. And that's my daughter, Dorothy. That's my sister's youngest, Cooper. That's my sister's oldest, Noah.